You stack all these lines up and it starts to put you above that clawback line. They're going to start reducing how much you receive in the OAS. And there's not a lot of control that you have. No control in that circumstance whatsoever. But if there was a way that you could receive tax-free income and you knew how to create that by implementing different strategies, then you can now mitigate the risk or the impact to that clawback when you know what to do. What exactly is the Old Age Security Pension Plan, the OAS? How does it work for Canadians? What can you anticipate in retirement? And how exactly does this program show up for you? What are some of the factors that determine how much of that OAS benefit you can receive? We're going to talk about a few of those things in this video today. My name is Richard Canfield. I'm an authorized infinite banking practitioner and co-host of the Wealth Without Bay Street podcast. So I'm excited for you to be here today. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below if you found this helpful. So old age security. If you're Canadian, there's a good chance you might get the benefit of this particular program, but it'd be important to understand what are those benefits and how do you get them? What are the requirements in order to be able to receive it? And when does it kick in? Etc. As of the time of this recording, which is in January of 2022, the current maximum benefit for a 65-year-old, so the earliest you can kick in the OAS benefit that you can start receiving it is age 65. The maximum benefit you could receive monthly is $642. Now, $642 may not be everything that you need to make ends meet, of course, but that is the maximum available. And then, of course, that would be a top-up with your CBP or Canada Pension Plan and the other retirement sources that you have, as long as your income isn't too high. We'll talk about that more in a moment. Now, what's interesting about the $642 is that if we rewind the tape and we go 1 year back to January of 2021, the maximum benefit for someone who is able to receive the maximum OAS at 65 would only be getting about $615 a month. So there has been a $30 monthly increase to that income. Now, the key indicator, the key reason that increase has happened is because of the way that they measure and make adjustments to the income. So they will actually assess quarterly or over a 3-month period of time, they will assess what's going on with the cost of living in Canada. As the cost of living goes up, they will make an adjustment about once a quarter, and you'll see a reflection of that in the income that you receive. Now, they make those announcements in January, in April, in July, and then again in October. And so if the CPI or the Consumer Price Index, which is a big old fat measurement of a basket of goods, they call it, in other words, what's in this basket of common things that the average Canadian is spending their money on: food, clothing, housing, etc., fuel, where they take a look at all these items and they say, look, based on the speed of increase on these items and the rate of increase, we're going to make an adjustment to the CPI, and that CPI mechanism is utilized in determining should we increase or adjust the income amount received by Canadians with the old age security. Now, there's several other factors that go into determining how much you might receive. First one would be age. What age are you kicking it in, or are you going to defer it a little bit? So 65 is the earliest you can start the OAS, and you can defer it up to age 70. If you do the deferral, meaning that you didn't receive any OAS income starting at 65, let's say you waited 5 years and you kicked it in at 70, the amount of the income that you would receive would then be much higher. However, you did give up 5 years of the income. So you have to take that into consideration. And you also have to think about things like your health status and your needs at that time. How long do you plan on living? Do you think you're going to live? Are you in a current good health condition, etc.? Now, the next thing that goes into the equation is your marital status. So that has an impact. One of the most key components, however, is your total gross income for the year. So I'm going to talk more about that in a minute when we get into deferrals. The next thing that's important is how long have you lived in Canada for? Now, you might have been born Canadian and spent your whole life here like I did. That's totally cool, in which case you would qualify for that system. You need to be living in Canada for 40 years after you turn age 18 in order to be qualified for the maximum benefit amount. Now, if you haven't lived in Canada for a full 40 years after 18, let's say we cut that in half. You've only lived in Canada for 20 years after turning age 18. Well, then you would be entitled to half of the benefit amount. Pretty simple. Well, if you only lived in Canada for, say, 10 years after age 18, well, then you would get about a third of that benefit. So that's a little bit about how the benefit amounts can get adjusted based on where you've been spending your time on an annual basis, and where you hanging your hat for a lot of years when it comes to residency. Now, the advantage, of course, for folks that maybe weren't born in Canada, and they've immigrated here and they've built a life here and had their families and careers and you name it, is that they still get the ability to contribute to that or get access to that system, because over their working years they've been contributing as well to the overall economic engine that forms the country. Another important thing to consider here is the clawback. So we talked about your income being one of the factors. So one of the most scary words that we've got in the Canadian language here is the clawback. That's a weird term. What does that mean? Well, it means that income that you would be receiving, that you would, in theory be entitled to for the OAS pension, is going to get reduced. They're going to withhold some of it. They're not going to give it all to you if your total gross income is over a certain amount. As you get to a level, they start to hold it back, and as it increases and increases and increases, they hold back more and more and more of what you would have otherwise received. So if you're able or qualified in theory, you've lived in Canada for 40 years, you should receive the maximum amount. You should get your $642 a month plus any cost of living increases. But your total gross income for the year, your household income, is greater than $77,500. Now they're going to start reducing how much of the benefit you should get. And as that income goes up and up and up and up and up to a point where you get to $129,000, it's a little over that. But once you cross $129,000 in gross income, then you've completely eliminated the ability to receive the old age security benefit. Now, it wouldn't impact your CPP and other benefit lines from that perspective, but the OAS has its own set of rules. So it's called the OAS clawback. Many people view this almost as like a success tax. In other words, if you've done well in life, and even though you've paid into the system, you would no longer receive this benefit, essentially. What's really important, though, for people to think on is, what are the unknowns that might happen in our life? Now, let's assume you've been putting money into registered accounts, RSPs or whatever, throughout a bulk of your lifespan. Now you're going to go withdraw those because starting at age 72, the Canadian government's going to force you to start taking an income. Well, if you've got it done really well in those accounts and you're drawing it down, you have to pay tax on that money. That increases your taxable income. You've got your CPP, you've got OAS. Then all of a sudden, maybe you have a rental property or rental income. You stack all these lines up and it starts to put you above that clawback line. They're going to start reducing how much you receive in the OAS. And there's not a lot of control that you have. No control in that circumstance whatsoever. But if there was a way that you could receive tax-free income and you knew how to create that by implementing different strategies, then you can now mitigate the risk or the impact to that clawback when you know what to do. Now, we teach a lot about that on our channel. We have tons of other videos showing something referred to as the Insured Retirement Plan. We talk about becoming your own banker and how by implementing that strategy, you can create secure, consistent, in fact, even guaranteed retirement income using a tax-free mechanism, which is available to Canadians as long as you know how to implement it right. So go ahead, check out some more of the content that we have, check out the videos, register for one of our webinars. We love to continue providing this education. I hope you got a ton of value out of it. Make sure to, again, hit subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment below, and check out one of the other videos that's popped up on the screen. Subscribe to one of the playlists. Keep your educational journey moving and have a prosperous 2022.